The very first benefit I want to talk about is reusability. We have some legacy rectangle and we want to be able to use it in our system. We don't need to go ahead and invent the wheel. All we need to do is continue using the legacy rectangle, but adapt it to the new interface that we need using our adapter. This, of course, gives us also flexibility, the flexibility of taking incompatible interfaces and have them compatible with one another. This also promotes separation of concern. So the client can continue working with the iRectangle, and this can happen independently of the adapted class. This is, of course, is also pretty scalable because we can easily go ahead and add more adapters. Finally, this is pretty simple to maintain. So if something goes wrong or just we want to understand what's happening, we have a centralized place where the entire logic of adapting one object to another object sits, and we can go ahead and investigate what went wrong or just how this conversion works. So those are the benefits. The main benefit, again, is just allowing incompatible interfaces to work with one another. But like with any design pattern, there are also some drawbacks. The main drawback, this is more or less the only drawback, is that we're adding an extra class between the client and the underlying object that we want to work with. This has the potential to increase complexity. Now, instead of the client working directly with some object, then it's working with some interface, and this interface is the one that's manipulating the underlying object. This, and especially when it's overused, can increase the overall complexity of the codebase just because you have this extra indirection. And this, of course, also makes debugging more complex because the more you apply this pattern, the more adapters you have, the harder it is to debug and understand what's going on. That said, that's more or less it when it comes to the drawbacks. Of course, there's a slight performance overhead. If you reuse the same class in various adapters, then you may have some inconsistencies, but these drawbacks are negligible. Now let's go ahead and conclude this course. So that's a wrap on the adapter design pattern course. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. What I would recommend for you to do now is to check out the list of design patterns here on Don't Train, find the one that seems the most interesting to you, and I'll see you there.